Welcome, it's Lumpy and the Fun Boss, and this is Every Day's a Holiday, and we're starting off on day 3 of our New Zealand adventure.
This was the longest drive day, and we were headed down from Auckland down to Wellington, and I got this wild hair. I wanted to see waterfalls, but I had to find waterfalls that had nice short walks. So I was Googling ones, and I happened to find this one that had a short walk. And it was funny because every New Zealander we've talked to on this whole trip has never heard of this waterfall.
Who knew? But it was a nice little waterfall, and it was a short walk. It was a little bit hilly, and it had a gravel path, but it wasn't too bad. The interesting thing is we ran into, I don't know what to call him, a ranger or a reserve manager, but this gal was with her photographic team, and they're photographing the waterfall to get more people to come to it. And she told us about another place just down the road that had an even nicer or easier hike that had a boardwalk. So we went down to there next, and it was only like 5 minutes away. So you never know who you're going to run into or what they're going to provide for you.
It was a nice hike to the waterfall. I did not go actually down to the bottom. We found a very nice platform for viewing the falls from, and that was super helpful. So I didn't have to go down the last bit of the slippery slope.
And it was slippery because the reserve manager and her team were all muddy. I mean, like muddy up their backsides and up to their knees. So we didn't go down there, which was probably a good thing. So the next thing she recommended was the Natural Bridge. And as you can see, it had a boardwalk, and it was only a 5-minute walk. The nice thing about the preserves is they tell you how far the walks are and how many minutes they estimate. So it was pretty nice, and it was an easy walk. As we continued our drive down the west side of New Zealand, we came across this little ski town where we got some more meat pies and stopped and got gas. And this is the name of the mountain. We're not going to try and pronounce it. But it was on the way to Wellington, but the sun was setting, so the opportunity to take cameras pretty much ended. So that kind of ends the day of travel on our way to Wellington. But this is what we woke up to the next morning. The Fun Boss found a really nice Airbnb in Wellington that had a great view of the harbor. When we got there, it was really dark, but we woke up to this. It was beautiful. And it was a short drive to the ferry landing because we were taking the ferry from Wellington to Picton to transition from the North Island to the South Island, because our plan was to go south quick and to see things, because it is getting to be fall and you can get some rain and cold weather. So we wanted to do that first and then head back north where it's a little bit nicer weather and warmer. So really nice Airbnb she found. It was great.
It was a perfect way to wake up too, because we woke up about an hour and a half before we had to be headed down for the 3-minute drive to the ferry landing. So plenty of time with our coffee and with our rolls there in our room to just enjoy and take in the view. We watched the ferry come in and go. We watched a cruise ship come in, and then went right down. Getting onto the ferry was super easy.
Yep, a little bit of wait as you can see with the time lapse, but for the most part, good directions, just followed everybody else. A lot of safety people. Australia and New Zealand's known for that. And so they do park them tight, but we didn't have any problem getting in and out.
So headed across between the North and the South Islands, we could not have lucked out on a better day. The water was smooth and the sky was blue. It was just a fabulous day to be on a boat. So no motion sickness issues, got to be out on the deck enjoying the sunshine. Wasn't a long time between landfall.
No, and now we did come down over the Easter break, which in New Zealand and Australia they take a 2-week break around Easter and Anzac Day. And we knew we were getting into this because we've been to Australia a number of times during that period. And so there were a lot of families, a lot of kids, everybody getting ready to go on holiday. But it was a beautiful scenery as we went through the Queen Charlotte Strait after the Cook Inlet. And it was pretty impressed, again, how stable the platform was, how calm the water was. It was an absolutely beautiful day in the Queen Charlotte Strait. I think the weather so far for the trip has been pretty much spectacular, and you can't complain.
It was nice. I got some hot water so we could make our oatmeal for breakfast. We bought some coffees, so we just had a nice relaxing time on the ferry, and plenty of time to walk around and plenty of time to sit and just enjoy the view out the windows. And getting off was super easy also.
And so what we did next was we made a decision to drive along the Queen Charlotte Strait, which was along the Grove Arm, and then there's another arm that gets you into Havelock, because it's a pretty scenic drive. And if you had a motorcycle, it'd be a great ride because it's pretty twisty. But the other reason is we wanted to go to Havelock and try the green mussels. I guess that's an interesting thing that they have in New Zealand, especially only in Havelock. So that's why we're getting this drive along the north side from Picton to Havelock. Not the usual way. Most people don't go that way. They tend to go to Blenheim. It's a little bit easier. This was a little bit twisty.
But it was a beautiful drive with plenty of lookouts. And then, of course, when we got to the restaurant, we were all over the harbor. We were able to sit and look at the boats. And again, it was a beautiful sunny day, so it was perfect for a drive along the cliffs.
We'll say that I think it was a Saturday or a Sunday, so you got to be careful. Things tend to close early in New Zealand, and we were like one of the last customers at the restaurant because they were getting ready to close at 5 o'clock.
They were actually out of the special pies they had there. We were able to buy them frozen, though, and we were able to have them that evening when we were in our Airbnbs. That actually worked out better for both of us because we got to both enjoy them.
And I wanted to go to Havelock, New Zealand, because I've been to Havelock, North Carolina, for different reasons. But it was a great day, and it was a great meal, and that pretty much ended our time as a quick drive down to our Airbnb in Blenheim.
A great day on the South Island. Every day's a holiday.